You're listening to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast, episode 101. Welcome to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast, where growth and spirituality create an enhanced life's journey, balancing life with the wisdom of Egun, Ifa, and Orisha in our everyday lives. I am your host, Ivon. Welcome back to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast. We are on fire. Can you believe this is episode 101? What? I think I have a sound of, but I don't know where it is. So we are going to keep going. This episode, we're going to get started. We're going to probably pause in between for some fun little announcements, but I want to jump right into this. The title is going to tell it to you all. I am always right. Well, not I, but have you heard people that do say that? I'm always right. You're going to hear a lot of paper rustlings because I got notes today. So we are going to get right into it. On episodes 98 and 99, we cover chaos that charismatic leaders can do. And in one of them, we went through the trait of, I am right, they are all wrong. If you haven't heard those episodes, of course, not shameless plug, go and listen to them. And that way you will have more context. We are going to add into this. This is going to be slightly different. We're going to talk about I am always right in the context of our community, in the context of the Orisha construct. I talk a lot about the Lukumi traditions. However, I'm going to talk about what is still known in some circles as Isheshe and any other circle. We're talking about the Orisha construct. Okay? And when we covered in episode 98 and 99, we covered by analyzing other people and how they work around their followers, per se. Now we're bringing it home to us. So let's go for it. In every tradition, whether it be Chinese, Japanese, any indigenous traditions, we have philosophers. And even though, for example, the Amazons, they wouldn't be called the philosophers, but they were the shamans. They were the shamans and they were the elders, and they had sage advice, which is where they come with the sage. And Europeans everywhere had their own. And I took some notes. There's a common message here. If a person says that they are always right, then they're not, at least for long. That's number one. Number two, they are not humble enough. And that's pretty much in every practice. Not even Yoruba. We're talking Greek, Roman. It doesn't matter where you look. They're not going to be knowledgeable for long. They're not humble enough. And it's a clear sign that they don't know everything. Oh, priests. Oh, my priests. As a former priestess myself and newly Orisha, I'm going to say a few words to broaden your point of view. Ready? This is where I need like more sound effects. Like, ta-dang! Now, here's one for you. It is easy to find priests. You're no longer the only one. Let that sink in. Back then, it's like, do you know somebody who does? Oh, Doña Brenda, you know, the one that she's always downstairs with Don whoever. She dresses in white sometimes. Let me go do it. It's not like that anymore. It is now super easy to find priests. You're no longer the only one. There is easy access. There are internet drumming invites. There are chats. There are forums. There are videos. There are classes. There are get-together. There are conferences. There are people who know people. There are stickers that are on cars and people notice them and they'll stop and talk to you. There are, that reminds me, I should make more stickers for the Orishas for cars. I gotta make notes about these things. Okay, continuing. People will see more people with ileques. They're gonna be stopped. You're no longer a novelty. And I'm not saying that to be mean to you. As a former priestess and newly born Orisha again, I will tell you, humility, you're gonna need it. You're no longer as special as, let's say, 30 years ago, where it was hard to get in front of a good one that was trustworthy. And even then, there's been arroz con you know what that is for you Latino people, and a whole bunch of mess and sancochos that have been done even back then. Okay? Let me also tell you, alejos, aborishas, and priests are talking more in lives. They're conversing with each other in videos. And then there are comments below in books. Back then, it was a sacrilegio to have a book on the religion. Oh my God, it was raising eyebrows. Now, everybody has a book. I know. Just think about that for a moment. Your know-it-all and self-righteous behavior could be, even at this moment, being discussed in somebody else's video. Oh, mira. And you know what? There's the forums like Reddit. There are so many forums that people are discussing things about their experiences. They went to a drumming, they saw this, they heard this, and the thing about those, they're completely anonymous. So people are being very frank, very, very frank about what they hear. You might be losing out on good community clients and or godchildren because of all the reasons I mentioned above. They're probably discussing you and something that they heard you do or say right now. I am always right is a way of thinking of a person who I am sure is sporting or wishes to have iwapele or iwarere in front of the community. And this is unbecoming. I've sat at tables to hear what I have heard. And one of the things that they will tell you early on, especially when you're a yabo, you shut your mouth. Boy, did I. You couldn't get me to say 2 words. But I heard a lot. And even before then, because a lot of priests, and I've spoken about this before, treat alejos like trash. We were invisible. So we heard a lot of things. We saw a lot of things. Okay? So keep in mind, I am always right is a way of thinking, is an attitude. It's like an essence that is highly unbecoming when you're trying to have iwapele or iwarere. That's good moral character or cool character. Here's something very important. I put this under little caricaturas, like for me to know, really look at this note. Your future godchildren will never truly be certain and will not have a mind of their own. I want you to think about this for all of you priests who I'm always right. And here's another thing that I'm going to mention. This has to come inside and out. Some people say, oh no, yo no sé nada. But when you talk, it's you're always right and you know it all. So I'm just going with the I'm always right. That way of thinking is a form of control. That is why that aspect made it to parts 1 and 2, which was 98 and 99 of the podcast of the charismatic leaders and how that went in there. Many of these priests were and are soberbios. That was the word that came in as I was writing this episode, soberbios. And then I'm like, what exactly is that? Because the word was literally being screamed at in my head. Here is the definition. And I'm going to mention 3 words to you because you will hear them and you will understand them. 1, arrogant. 2, haughty. 3, proud. Now, coming from somebody who was told that I'm bad, I'm wrong at everything, pride is important and it's a good thing. But when you are a priest, when you are, I can't say an extension of the Orisha, but you're definitely a community pillar, an example. You are part of what's supposed to build the best parts of our community. And to be arrogant it's just really ill. Okay? Your future godchildren, when you're saying, I'm always right, I'm always right, I'm always right, I'm always right, you are tearing apart little by little the will, the mind of your godchildren. And there is supposed to be something called free will. That type of thinking is a form of control. Let me move on to the next point. When you are always right, as you are, because you are always right, free will hits a snag. Remember, kind of went into that. Here, I'm going to mention it to you. They may agree in front of you for a while. Like you will see that agreement. Do as you say. They're going to listen to what you say. They're going to nod. They're going to agree. But it won't last forever. It's very rare that somebody will stick through that type of control forever. And I wrote with a super big star, admiration wears off. Okay. Here we go. Story time. But you know what? We're going to break this up. Before we go to story time, I wanted to say I had a very interesting, we're going to pause for a minute. We're going to continue as well. I have created things that are for spiritual things. For example, I have stationery. Did you know that I make stationery for the Orishas? Yes, beautiful printed paper notes that you can write your beautiful notes and letters to people. Nobody knows I have that. Go figure. I make stickers, designs that are all to my imagination of what I think they ought to look like. We're talking about the indios. We're talking the madamas. We're talking about the congos. We're talking about our spiritual world. So awesome. So if you want to check it out, of course, feel free to come to the website. And in the meantime, let's take a break. And here we go. This episode is brought to you by Your Spiritual Things. Olubumi Creations has said its last goodbye, and Your Spiritual Things is here for you. Do you love Orisha and spiritual things? Me too. This is why I created a space which is dedicated to creating spiritual things for from original artwork, especially calligraphy and lettering pieces, which you can have on your walls, from the 16 Megis to sayings about the Orishas. How about having a great saying of your favorite art on a mug or a t-shirt? Because why not? There are cards, decals, Orisha offering dishes, which are all made per order by hand. And look out for limited offerings. There is something for many of the Orishas and spiritual folks. And if you don't see something, reach out and let's see what creative spiritual awesomeness we can create for you. Your spiritual things was made because going to a store to get something nice for someone in the traditions is hard, and there is too much of the same out there, like the same art over and over. Check us out by going to www.orishawisdom.com/Ivon, and that is I-V as in Victor, O-N as in Nancy. This is Orisha art and spiritual art made by an Orisha worshiper for Orisha worshipers of the world with your spiritual things. All right, everybody, let's continue with episode 101. We were going to break it up in the middle because I was about to tell you a story, or maybe two. But definitely I'm going to tell you this one. In the beginning, every word that I heard was absorbed, like drinking cool water after a long stint without water and grueling workout to the body. You know, when you taste that water after a hard workout, or being outside and you forgot your water bottle and you finally taste that water and it just quenches your very soul. That's exactly what happens with words. Righteous, I am always right, words, message. And I sucked it up. And by the way, I'm not alone in this. I'm not alone. But something happens when those self-righteous, I am always right words, message does the messaging. There comes a point that it doesn't land the same way. And mental resistance happens. This is when, I've heard this from more than one individual. A godchild battles in their mind, in their very being, but not in front of their godparent, not in front of that priest. At some point, the influence will disappear. Your admirer or admirers will disappear. They're going to start poking at the cracks that they see in the message. You can't stay fake humble forever. The message is not going to reach. Here is the sad part. Even if some of your messages are right, they may not reach your meant to be masses. Again, even if your messaging is correct, your more right than thou attitude will prevent the message from reaching its intended target. And I honestly think that that's really, really sad, because a lot of us reach out to priests for help, and we are sadly disappointed with a godparent that may be knowledgeable, but is constantly screaming because they know everything. They know they're always right. And it comes to the point that I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck anymore. And it sounds that bad, but internally, you reject it at one point or another. You start poking holes at the cracks that are already beginning to show in your soul. You may not even show it in the face of said priest, but it's there and it's going to be there. Here is another short story. How I learned to treat others is exactly how I was taught by how I was treated, how I was spoken to. Later on, we took a stance that, to this day, not my proudest of moments, very real. And I wrote that in very big letters. It is what it is. I was taught in a very rough manner. Someday I may tell some of those stories. I do have them because I don't want to forget them. And when we had newer folks, guess what? I treated them exactly as I was treated. I spoke to them exactly as I was spoken to. And that, not my proudest moment. But here, I'm going to give you another story. My godfather, I love him. And I struggled when I first went to him because, how do I say this? The panic attacks that I had were mostly because, oh my God, I just did something wrong. And oh my God. Like I was waiting for the gavel to fall as it used to fall on me before. Whenever I thought I did something wrong. I'm sorry, I didn't listen to you. Like I expected that. My Baba sat me down. He's like, let me ask you something. How do you feel when you see me? And I said, well, Baba, I feel really, really good. It's like coming home. He goes, okay. He goes, okay. How do I treat you? Well, like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, how do I talk to you? How do I treat you? I'm like, well, you are stern. I think you're fair. If I have an issue, like it takes me a while to even say that there is an issue, but I do come and then you listen and you will stop everything to listen when it's time. Obviously, he's not going to stop the whole world for me, but when he does give me his time, it is his undivided time. And he, I ran through each of these things. And he said, well, this is what you're going to do with your future godchildren. I remember, I'm like, I don't want godchildren. He's like, oh, do you know what? That's not your choice. He goes, Orisha is the one that chooses, not you. And I'm like, damn it. Because I'm like a total child. I swear I'm probably his most interesting godchild. Yeah. One of these days, we're going to talk about the fun things about having a great godparent. But in the meantime, continuing the story, he said, you're going to do with your future godchildren. And I'm like, I don't want godchildren. He's like, just, shut up. He's very funny. And he goes, you're going to do that. You're going to know what to do. And I'm like, how am I going to know that? Because that's the reason why the Unlearn and Relearn series went up, because I've always said I need to unlearn some things, but I already know some things. So it's like having to recalibrate that, right? And he goes, that's okay. You just are going to do what I do. You're going to say what I say. You're going to treat them just the way I treat you. Let me tell you, that hit home so much. And I love what he says, which was very different than what I remember. This is your home. And I never, ever felt like that before. And I thought that was amazing. So even if you know better later and you do better, I promise you, those godchildren will do as they were taught. They will do as they were done to. That made no sense, but I hope you understood what I meant. They will even talk the way that you talked to them. Do you, I am always writers, want your godchildren just like you? Impermeable, impenetrable, because they're always right, just like you? And I bring this up for a question. You can leave as much hate as you want, but if the shoe fits, it's for you. And it's not for you because I'm attacking you, but I think that as a community, we can do better. All right? Moving on. What if you change and then you gain an ounce of humility and your godchildren are like you? I'm just saying, what if you feel better and then your godchildren now turned out just like you? After Ochas, I promise you, there are going to be conversations. You priests, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You or your godchildren, there will be commentaries done. There will be commentaries done. If not, they're probably done already online, where now the world can decide whether other people are going to go to you or your ile or your spiritual house or not. Think about that, man. I am always right. You might be in your mind, but people are going to be like, yeah, I don't want that. I know I'm one of those. I already been there and done that. No, we don't do that here. Now, let's move on. So we're going to pause here and we are going to move on priests to priests. Let's go to other priests. They all know about your I am always right attitude. Here's a couple of points. 1, they will not want to work with you. And if you're one of those that when I just said that, you're like, well, I don't want to work with them either. All right, then. I don't even have to argue that because you're always right? Number 2, they may avoid you at events. And the same response to the number 1 that I said. I'm not going to defend that. Number 3, they may be guarded around you. This is why this is important. You're like, well, I don't care. I don't like that priest anyway and whatever. Listen to me. Not everyone cannot be good at everything. Think about it. These other priests may not refer anyone to you for help. They may not have the ache to deal with X person, but you might have that je ne sais quoi. But if you are always right, they're like, yeah, I don't want anybody that I refer to next to someone like that. What if, for example, you're a child of Chango and this person has been marked as Oshun and you have that in your ita that you cannot even do nothing to them, can't even breathe in that Oshun's direction, but you know that priest of whoever else, and you're like, yeah, but they're always right. They have an attitude. They're a little arrogant. I don't want this little yawosito to be in that. And that's it. You lost yourself a possible great godchild. Okay? Here's another reason. They may not even think about you. Let's say you live in a different state and you are legitimate. You're legitimate. But they won't even refer you because you're always right. What if, for example, they have an issue that is a little beyond what you can handle as a priest, right? They can handle as a priest, but they know that you've dealt with that and you've had some success with that. You're pretty good with that. Yeah, but man, that attitude of I'm always right, self-righteous, knowing more than everyone else is wrong, but you are always right. Yeah, we're going to have to find someone else. Here's another reason why I brought up the priests. There may be a difference in fit. Let's say that this priest over here, priest A, he is very quiet. He is very introvert. He is not very chatty. And he really is like, if a person is overly chatty, overly excited, they just can't handle it. But you love the exuberance of people. You are very adaptable. Yeah, but you got that little issue of, you're always right. Yeah, that priest is going to find somebody else to work with. What if you have an amazing teaching style, but you're righter than the right hand? They're not going to choose you. They're not even going to think of you. And you may think that they're like, yeah, whatever. That's still the problem. Remember, these traditions are not a solitary event. It is all community. Okay? It takes more than you. It takes more than two people. I know for a fact many that will avoid this type of priest. And so many comments that I have heard, they could be very knowledgeable in whatever. They may make those prayers that you got them goosebumps that just go up and down your spine, baby, but they don't want to work with you. You may have ashe for making bats that they can move mountains, but do I really want to work with a person that, just has zero humility? Because they're always right. Everyone else is wrong. Just them, they're right. Being right is good. Did you hear what I just said? Being right is good. Knowing that you are doing the right thing is good. Living that fact is also good. Announcing it to the world over and over is yuck. Like for reals. We can delve more into it, but I wanted to make this bite size in order to start out the new phase of the Orisha Wisdom Podcast. Here, I am going to be throwing this out for commentaries in the YouTube community tab. I'm going to focus everyone there because unfortunately, my TikTokers don't like to go to Facebook. My Facebookers don't have TikTok. And oh my, OMG. I will be posting videos everywhere, but we can do the commentaries wherever you see it. But the main one is going to be the YouTube community tab. And that way we can just keep everything in one place. Everybody has that accessible and we can go comment. Have you seen this happen? Are you a priest or not? A Orisha, a Lejo? You just heard about Orisha. You had a dream about something gold and you think it's Oshun and then you've had some interactions. I want to know about it. There are many, and I mean good priests, but they have this one little teeny weeny little thing. And this teeny weeny little thing, man, it can create chaos in a person. I have seen now priests or now aborishas who once were alejos who were in very similar spots of being under a godparent who's always right. And it's like you see them going through phases and they tell you about these. Like they saw the shiny and then it wasn't so shiny no more. And then you're starting to see oxidation marks. And then you're trying to rub them off because, you chose this priest, but they're still right. The world is wrong. And then you're like, dang, yeah, I don't know about this. So I would love to bring everyone into the YouTube community tab so that we can discuss. If you see some of the videos that are going to go out on the various platforms, great, comment there too. But let's share these episodes because we are coming back the Orisha Wisdom community is going to be brighter than before. And not because of me. Not because of me. No. But because of each and every one of you in every area of the world that you are listening to. I've gotten your messages, and I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for your support and for your encouragement during really tough times. And guess what? Just like I've been going through stuff, you're going through stuff, and we can all be there and support each other. So stay tuned for the next episode. And in the meantime, may your spiritual court help you, guard you, protect you. May your Orishas bless you, all of them. Because, we're all children of the Orishas anyway. May your Ori take you to your destiny. And may you just have a rockin' time until the next time we meet. I'll talk to you soon. Mwah! Thank you for listening to the Orisha Wisdom Podcast. Be sure to check out the show notes at orishawisdom.com/podcast. Can't get enough of Orisha Wisdom? Check us out at orishawisdom.com and subscribe to our community. Remember, the wisdom of Egun, Orisha, and Ifa is all around us. Be blessed, and until next time.